Next up, we got the insane rise of Brock Purdy.
Not many quarterbacks.
Brock Purdy literally came out of nowhere. All right, I don't know who he is. All right, now the only thing I know about Brock Purdy really is that he was Mr. Irrelevant. Everybody hated him. Last pick. Came in the league, and now he going crazy. Superstar quarterback. Getting no PT. You know what I'm saying? But let's look at the background of where he came from. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know. All right, now if y'all want more videos like this, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's
get the opportunity to make the playoffs in their first season, especially when you're a seventh. Not many quarterbacks get the opportunity to make the playoffs in their first season, especially when you're a 7th-round draft pick. Shoot, many 7th-rounders hardly even get the chance to start. But in the 2022 NFL Draft, the very last pick, Mr. Irrelevant Brock Purdy has become one of the most surprising talents in the NFL in his very first season. So how does that happen? What are the obstacles Purdy had to overcome to get the starting job? And what is it that makes him so special? This is the story of Brock Purdy.
All right.
Mr. Irrelevant was born in Queen Creek, Arizona as the middle child to parents Sean and Carrie Purdy. He played quarterback in high school at the newly opened Perry High in Gilbert, Arizona, where he helped his team to a state championship game in back-to-back seasons in 2016 and 2017. Okay. Sadly, they lost both of those games, but Purdy was able to elevate the team and help them compete with some of the biggest high school teams in Arizona. Purdy's efforts didn't go unnoticed. He was named the State Gatorade Player of the Year and the Arizona Republic's High School Football Player of the Year, which would help his case when it came to college football recruiting. Purdy was listed as a consensus 3-star recruit. He was a talented quarterback who received offers from several programs, including Iowa State, Kansas, Texas A&M, and most notably, Alabama.
Okay.
The Alabama visit meant a conversation with legendary...
You get an Alabama offer, you're him. You know what I'm saying? I know when I was playing, bro, anybody who got an Alabama offer, bro, you damn near made it out the hood, bro. You damn near made it out the hood just with the offer alone. You ain't even go to college yet. You don't even know if they even gonna play your ass. But if you get an offer from Alabama, oh my God. Oh my God. And then he got other D1 schools on top of it.
College head coach Nick Saban, who has brought countless successes to the Crimson. A conversation with legendary college head coach Nick Saban, who has brought countless successes to the Crimson Tide program and developed some of the best quarterbacks in football in recent years. Saban was blunt with Purdy, telling him how he was below average in height, his arm strength is whatever, and his accuracy is average. Purdy wasn't best pleased with the visit, and when he returned to his high school coach, Preston Jones, he told him that he was pretty sure Saban didn't know who he was. See, the accuracy of his game is what Brock Purdy is most proud of, and it's what he depends on when he's out on the field. When Saban claimed that his accuracy was average, Purdy was convinced that the Bama coach hadn't watched him play. Now, of course, being a 3-star recruit at the quarterback position gives you a mountain to climb when it comes to programs like Alabama. They attract all the best 5-star recruits in the nation.
I'm about to say it. And they don't recruit 3 stars, bro. It's 5. Damn, they're a 4-star and up, bro. No cap. And you can't even be a 4-star. Nigga, you gotta be a 4.5. You can't even be a 4-star, nigga. You need to be on the way to 5, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? You one game from 5-star, bro. You know what I'm saying? You can't be a 4-star. No, they not give you it. So the fact that he even in a question is crazy.
When it comes to programs like Alabama, they attract all the best 5-star recruits in the nation, and Alabama is particularly well known for how dominant they are in recruiting. Purdy's career was heading in a different route though, and less than 2 weeks after his Alabama visit, he announced his commitment to the Iowa State Cyclones. When he arrived, Purdy had plenty of work to do. He was a 3-star freshman who hadn't enrolled early and had been recruited alongside another quarterback in Real Mitchell, who was a dual-threat quarterback from St. John Bosco in California. Okay. Brock Purdy got to work on day one, running sprints at the program's indoor facility by himself. Within a few days, several other freshmen had joined him, which pointed towards the level of leadership and charisma of the young QB. He would go into his freshman year as the 3rd-string quarterback, making sure he was prepared to play no matter how slim the chance of him getting on the field might be.
Yep.
Then, in week 6, his number was called. An injury to the team starter Kyle Kempt that season, followed by...
Every time, that's how it happens, an injury. Every time it's an injury, bro. And this is literally what I say. If you ever not playing, you hope to be a starter one day, or you know what I'm saying, your coach dicking you down. I mean, hey, pause. That's not what I'm gonna say. Yo, I didn't be like that. I bet your coach dicking you, because that's like. Anyways, okay. You not starting. You know what I'm saying. You third. I don't want to.
poor performances from the backup Zeb Noland gave Purdy a chance. Noland was benched against Oklahoma State, and Purdy went out there as a freshman with a point to prove. He led touchdown scoring drives on 4 of his first 5 possessions and ended the game with 317 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, and a pick. Not bad for a guy coming into a game off the bench. Once Brock Purdy had gotten a taste for starting in college, he wasn't prepared to give it up. The dedicated work ethic he already had grew stronger, committed to being the hardest working player on the team, and his efforts rallied the team behind him and created a unit that played for one another. Purdy started the following week against West Virginia, and he never gave back the starting job. He was making play after play, putting his body on the line for his team, and his quarterback's coach at the time, John Gordon, who is now the offensive coordinator and quarterback's coach at South Florida, recalls one particular play that showed him Purdy was special. It wasn't a pass play either. It was a scramble, and Purdy needed more yards with 2 defenders approaching. He lowered his shoulder and hit them before they hit him, setting his teammates into a frenzy on the sideline. They loved him, and they rallied for him.
That's the only thing about Purdy. Purdy will lower that shoulder, I ain't gonna lie.
With 2 defenders approaching.
He will lower that shoulder.
He lowered his shoulder and hit them before they hit him, setting his teammates into a frenzy on the sideline. They loved him, and they rallied for him, and they knew that their quarterback was going to do whatever it took to help the team win. Purdy went 7-2 as the starter for the Cyclones that season, and he would go on to start 46 consecutive games over his 4-year career with the team. He had his best statistical season in 2019, throwing for 3,975 yards and 27 touchdowns, with just 9 picks while scrambling for another 8 touchdowns on the ground. He earned second-team All-Big 12 honors that year, and the following season would team up with the breakout running back Breece Hall. The emergence of Breece Hall in 2020 meant less pressure on Purdy throwing the ball, and his numbers didn't equal that of the 2019 season because of the adjustment in the scheme to accommodate Hall. That said, Purdy guided the team with consistent play and was bumped from second-team All-Big 12 to first-team All-Big 12, and the Cyclones capped the season by defeating Oregon 34-17 in the Fiesta Bowl. Purdy's final year in 2021 was the most accurate of his college career, completing over 71% of his passes while throwing for 3,200 yards and 19 touchdowns. He led the Big 12 in both completion percentage and passing yards that season, was once again named a member of the first-team All-Big 12, and would head for the NFL draft, having set 32 school records at
So
Iowa.
if he this sweet, you mean to tell me, no one still, so why wasn't he drafted? I wonder if you're going to say it in a video. But I'm thinking, is it because he's not as tall? Is that why? You know what I'm saying? Is he like below average height and speed? Is that just like what Nick Saban said? That's crazy. Is that hopefully he say why? I mean, I guess he already kind of did, but
Purdy is now the school's all-time leader in pass attempts, completions, completion percentage, passing yards, and both passing and total touchdowns, in which he totaled 100. He posted 14 games with 300-plus passing yards during his career, completely smashing the previous school record of 5 games. Iowa State had managed a winning season in all 4 years with Purdy as the starter, something that was not all that common for the Cyclones. The last time they had done so was almost 100 years ago between 1923 to 1927.
Damn.
So if Brock Purdy had helped the Cyclones win a whole lot more than they were used to, been a 3-time All-Big 12 quarterback and broken 32 records at Iowa State,
right,
how come he wasn't a hot ticket in the 2022 NFL Draft?
Thank you.
The biggest win on the scouting report was his accuracy. He was a calm pocket passer who never looked panicked when he was flushed out of the pocket or needed to scramble, but teams had their doubts about his game.
Hey, let me know if we should check out his college highlights. We gotta check out his college highlights. We have to, bro. We have to. Let me know in the comments if y'all want to see that.
The pro level, he didn't have the arm talent of a starting quarterback, and he was considered undersized. Scouting report after scouting report read not an NFL starter, and will struggle to see the field in the league.
Damn.
This is often the case for many college quarterbacks. They can play great football at the college level, but when it comes to the pros, they fall short of what's required to lead an NFL franchise. That was the expectation for Brock Purdy. He might get a shot as the third-string QB in the mid to late rounds of the draft, but teams weren't scouting him to be a starter. That much was clear. As it turned out, even the scouts who'd given him a mid to late round grade in the draft had been wrong. Day 3 came, round 4, round 5, round 6, and still the phone didn't ring. He sat at home with his family and waited for an opportunity. You'd have to imagine, as the picks fade in the 7th and final round, that a prospect might start to give up hope. Every pick is one less chance you've got at being drafted, so when 3 days have passed and there's just 1 pick left, those chances of being drafted are all but gone. That is, of course, unless your name is Brock Purdy, whose phone rang with the San Francisco 49ers on the clock with the very last pick in the 2022 draft. Purdy became the year's Mr.
last pick, though? The very last... Like, think about it. The very last pick in the NFL draft. Like, that's kind of crazy, though. Usually the last pick be like a lineman or like a Q. I mean, not QB, a cornerback. You know what I'm saying? A quarterback at last pick. Wow, bro. Wow.
49ers on the clock with the very last pick.
But you still gotta be grateful, though. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, most people dream to even be in a position to get drafted. So getting drafted last pick, still grateful, still a blessing. You know what I'm saying? And if you are in that situation, still got that should just tell you that you need to grind. Getting picked by the 49ers is a big pick anyway. It's not like you got picked to a trash team. That's a good team. You know what I'm saying? So they should put your head under the water and just grind. You know what I'm saying? Grind mode. They see something in you, bro. So
2022 draft. Purdy became the year's Mr. Irrelevant and celebrated with his family that he'd been given a shot. San Francisco had traded up the previous year to draft Trey Lance out of North Dakota State 3rd overall, and the vision for the future was that Lance would be the starting quarterback for the Niners. Purdy would go in as a potential depth piece and made the roster as the 3rd-string quarterback. Despite being sat behind a first-round draft pick, the Niners had given up a wealth of picks to go up and get, and a veteran in Jimmy Garoppolo. Purdy stayed focused. He committed himself to learning every inch of Kyle Shanahan's playbook and understanding the scheme should he ever need to help the team win, just as he did at Iowa State.
Yep.
Teammate Dre Greenlaw, who was Purdy's neighbor in the locker room, spoke of his commitment and preparation behind the scenes. He constantly shows up to practice prepared and believes in himself despite being written off and labeled Mr. Irrelevant. Purdy was determined to be more than a gimmick who got picked last in the draft, and in the 2022 season, just as it had at Iowa State, his opportunity came. Perhaps the sudden opportunity to play in his freshman year with the Cyclones prepared Brock Purdy for the moment. Anything can happen in the game of football, and even the 3rd-string guy needs to be prepared to strap up his chin strap and command the huddle. Trey Lance had been named the 49ers starter for the 2022 season, with Garoppolo as the backup. But in Week 2, that plan was crushed when Trey Lance suffered a nasty leg injury that ended his season in an instant.
Oh, so this is what I was trying to say, right? So, you know what I'm saying? You not getting your shot, you 3rd string. You never know what can happen, bro. You never know what can happen. And Brock Purdy had the perfect mindset. He had the perfect mindset when it came to being the 3rd string, which he already been in his position before. So this is nothing new to him. You know what I'm saying? He's been the backup and then came in and went crazy. So he know that now, okay, if I'm the backup, I still got to be able to know the plays and if I get my shot. Because at any moment, you never know what can happen, bro. Literally, you the 3rd quarterback. You know how rare it is, bro? The 3rd quarterback is, and then not only the 3rd quarterback get in, the 3rd quarterback is the best quarterback. Like, what? The 3rd quarter, they know how rare that is, bro. Like, and that's exactly why you have that mindset and you always ready, bro. No matter what happens, you know what I'm saying? It's just like Fortnite. If y'all played Fortnite before, you drop in with nothing, 0 loot, ain't nothing, bro. You have no loot. You have it's your job to go find that loot and win the game. You know what I'm saying? It's just like life, bro. No matter what, cards you're dealt, you might land somewhere in Fortnite and you might not get no loot. Then you gotta go kill people and get good loot. You know what I'm saying? It's the same shit in life, bro. They might land on somebody might be a silver spooned or you know what I'm saying, they taller than you or whatever. They got their cars was different than yours, bro. The cars they dealt was different than yours. You gotta take your cars and do what you gotta do, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's just life, bro. That's just life.
Garoppolo took over, but in Week 7, had to come out of the game against the Kansas City Chiefs, and Purdy had a chance to throw his first pass in the NFL. It wasn't the dream start. The Niners were down in the game, and Purdy had a pretty tall task on his hands. He only threw 9 passes, completing 4 of them, while throwing an interception in the loss. 6 weeks later, in Week 13, Jimmy G went down again, and this time it looked like quite a nasty foot injury. 49ers fans didn't know it yet, but what happened next shocked everybody except those who'd seen Brock Purdy work inside the facility every day since he arrived. He threw for 210 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick against the Miami Dolphins, combining with a high-level defensive performance to give the Niners the win. Jimmy Garoppolo was severely hurt, which meant Purdy was now going to be the starter. And who was he going to get his very first NFL start against? Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time.
Damn.
The Bucs struggled in the game, as they had done for most of the season, but Purdy did everything he was asked to do, and the Niners coasted to a 35-7 win. Purdy threw 16 of 21 passes for a 76% completion rate, throwing 2 touchdowns in the win.
Damn.
He became the first ever quarterback to beat Tom Brady in his first start, and shared a moment with the legendary QB on the field after the game. Brady's own path is a similar one to Purdy's, having been selected in the 6th round and overlooked by every franchise in the league. Brady has used that as fuel for the entirety of his decorated career, and has spoken only about how that moment in his life angered him and gave him a reason to work harder than everybody else around him.
What I say? What did I say, bro? It's the perfect reason. It's if they overlook you, bro. And I think about it, bro. Tom Brady is a person you would think like you just overlook because he's just tall, skinny, slow, bro. Did y'all see his NFL combine, bro? Or his combine shit where they had to run a 40 and their jump, broad jump, and you know what I'm saying, vertical jump and all that, bro. Tom Brady shit was so ass. It was so ass, bro. So you would think like, oh yeah, he sucked. Like, you know, how can this quarterback ever be good? Turns out, bro's the greatest of all time. The greatest.
Purdy used the momentum from his first career win to keep winning. Week 15 at Seattle, win. Week 16 against the Commanders, win. Week 17 at Las Vegas, win. Week 18 against Arizona, win. The Niners were headed for the playoffs, and Brock Purdy was 5-0 as the starter, and by this point, generating plenty of buzz around the league. To those inside the organization, Kyle Shanahan, Purdy's teammates, and everyone in the building, it was hardly surprising. They knew what he was capable of. To everybody else on the outside, Purdy was shocking the nation. San Francisco had lost both their starting quarterback and capable backup to injuries in what would typically completely derail a franchise and its goals of winning a championship. The 49ers hadn't missed a beat and looked as dangerous as anybody with a stacked defense.
CMC.
Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, and George Kittle firing on offense, and Brock Purdy pulling the strings. But how would he perform under the pressure of the playoffs? After all, win-or-go-home football comes with a whole new level of pressure. His response? The best game of his season so far. 332 yards and 3 touchdowns against Seattle to calmly dispatch the Seahawks and advance to the divisional playoff against the Cowboys, where they would win once again to set up a conference championship game against the high-flying Philadelphia Eagles. Purdy started the game poised and ready for the moment, and the footballing world watched on in amazement that the young rookie quarterback taken dead last in the NFL draft less than a year ago might be about to guide his team into the Super Bowl.
Let me know in the comments, y'all. For all the 49ers fans, what was y'all reaction and what was going through your mind when Brock Purdy was first going in, you know what I'm saying, and you know he started having them first good games, 2 good games. Like what was your thought process? You know what I'm saying? At first, did y'all think that y'all had no faith in him? Like when he first came in, cause like y'all like, oh, it's a third quarterback. Like we're fucked. Another year to injuries, bro. Another year. You know what I'm saying? Is that how y'all was thinking? Let me know in the comments what was going through y'all head.
Was unfathomable as it was happening. The kind of story that makes you want to pinch yourself just to make sure it was real. But here it was. Devastatingly, Brock Purdy's story that season was robbed of the final chapter. He was hit by Eagles pass rusher Hassan Reddick in the first quarter of the game, catching his throwing arm as he pulled it back. He'd suffered an elbow injury that meant he couldn't throw, struggling with shocking pain in his arm, and it cost the 49ers the game. Without a quarterback who could throw, the Niners stumbled and crashed out of the playoffs one stop short of a return.
So you can't tell me these went through 4 quarterbacks in one season? That has to be a curse, bro. Y'all got the Madden curse. Did y'all have a Madden cover last year? There's no way. Usually it'd be a team or one person get the Madden curse. No, the whole team got it, my nigga. And then they got it for a specific position. The whole 4 quarterbacks, bro. 4 quarterbacks in one season. That's crazy.
To the Super Bowl for Kyle Shanahan. And it felt like a cruel and bitter end to one of the 2022 season's most remarkable stories. Brock Purdy had gone from a guy that nobody knew, who was doomed as just another quarterback who'd hang around the league for a couple of seasons before fading into the background, like so many who'd come before him, into a playoff-winning starter who went 7-0 before an injury cut him down. All of a sudden, he'd earned the respect of not only his teammates and coaches, but players and fans who loved the game. Now he's expected to be the starter, bumping first-round talent Trey Lance out of the starting spot. The pressure will be high for Purdy to maintain his success, this time facing defenses who know precisely who he is. Nicknamed Mr. Relevant, Purdy has put himself on the map, and he's looking to write the next chapter. What are your projections for this upcoming season and for Brock's career? Do you think he's the real deal, or will defensive coordinators lock him up? Tell us in the comments. Hey,
tell me
you made it all the way to the end. That's...
Now, right now, he is going crazy. As of right now, he's still going crazy. So that's great to see. But let me know how y'all feel about also, like you said, the career. how is his career going to be? Because coming back this season and still going crazy is super big, bro. That's super big. So I think I see bright future. Bright future.